Alright, so here we got a Technics 1200 MK2 gimbal. As you can see, the bottom here, the bearing is nice. It's pretty good. However, the top one has that dent in the corner. This doesn't allow the bearing screw to sit in properly. It causes skipping issues, and also the tone arm doesn't retract, or it doesn't move properly. So usually what I do when this happens is I replace the top bearing or bottom bearing with an aftermarket bearing. Got a whole bunch right here. These are miniature race bearings. That's usually what my go-to is. However, this time I'm going to try something I've never tried before. I'm going to try to extract one of these bearings from the spare part I got, and if I can safely extract it, there's no reason why I can't pop it back in. So that's what I'm gonna do. So to take that bearing out, I'm putting it on my vise there. I'm gonna need my Dremel, a little cutter, and some safety stuff, gloves and eyewear. Let me set it all up and then we'll get cracking. Alright, so the idea is for me to cut carefully around there. I'm going to make like a mark there, one on this side, one on that side, one from the bottom, and pretty much just make as many cuts in it that I have. I'm going to make as many cuts that I need to make in order to get this thing out safely. So that's what's going on. Alright, I was able to make 4 cuts. Looks like I got some more to go, but I'm pretty confident we're going to get this thing out. So here we go. Alright, I'm excited because I made a cut here, a cut there, then I cut underneath it, and as you can see, that piece came off, and look at that, the bearing's right there. I'm going to try to like pop it out while recording it. I gotta use another tool. Here's this bad boy. I made this thing out of a phone screwdriver for when you like replace screens and stuff like that. As you can see, I kind of do a lot around here. I'm just twisting it carefully. Oh, there it is. It popped out. Oh my God. So if you're doing this, I would suggest making 4 slits on the edges, and then pick one side and make a nice careful slit to remove about that much of it. This is about as wide as each bearing is. It's kind of hard to see it, but I'm going to bring all these parts in and we're going to analyze it in the house. Alright, we're back. My dog knocked down all my little bearings and stuff. Bad girl. But that's okay. So we were able to successfully pull out both OEM bearings. There's this one. As I said, I created 4 slits, and then I created I cut underneath that one right there and took off that little chunk, and then that bearing just popped out once I put a little baby screwdriver underneath it. The other one took a little bit more effort. I had to make a bunch of cuts to carefully extract it. Honestly, this was probably, I thought this was going to be the hardest part, but so far it's pretty easy. The next thing is going to be to remove the old one, which is usually pretty easy, and then pop the new one in, which is not sure how that's going to go. I'm probably going to end up using some heat so I don't damage the bearing, and then maybe like something soft to push it in, maybe like a pencil eraser or something like that. I'm not sure. This is my first time, so I'm experimenting here. At the same time, I am trying to save this customer's gimbal. I'd like to kind of restore it all OEM. Aftermarket bearings are cool because you'll never have to replace them again. However, my experience is that the anti-escape mechanism doesn't work 100% after you do it with the aftermarket bearing. But yeah, let's keep going with this project. So to remove the top bearing, I usually just try to find a screwdriver small enough and just pry it out. Sometimes you can use something and push it from the bottom there. Let's see what I can do here. Alright, so I was able to get that bearing out. Took a little bit of work. First I kind of, the other bearing is gone. I don't even know where it went. It flew. But I was able to pop out the balls first, and there's like 5 of them. And then once the balls are out, you can get a screwdriver, like a flat tip, and kind of just go in there and pry it out. I suggest putting tape on the edge of that so you don't scratch it. I put tape, but I kind of still scratched it right there. But yeah, now the idea is that we are going to pop one of these guys in. And it should just kind of go in. I don't have a fancy camera mount or a person to help me right now, but I'm gonna try to press that in. I believe I'm gonna use some heat, so yeah. Here we are back in the garage. Now I was able to put the bearing in, but like it was on a tilt, so I want to make it nice and straight. I have to use some heat. Gonna be busting out my heat gun for that. You gotta be careful with these gimbals because they do tend to break if you put too much pressure. As you can see, I was like replacing that with an aftermarket one time, you know, the bottom one. Everything was working great, and then I broke it. So what I'm gonna do is just hit this up with some heat for a couple minutes, then I'm gonna try again to pop it in. All right, it's been about 2 minutes. I just threw the bearing up there as well, and now I'm gonna try to press it down with my eraser. Unfortunately, I can't record the process, but there's the eraser. I wish I had 3 hands. Here we go. Here we are. The bearing is fully seated. The pencil was cool at first. It was a cool idea, you know. Oh, DIY. Use a pencil and you can get bearings in. But as you can see, didn't really work. I just kind of ruined my tip there, my eraser. What's kind of cool is you can see the indentation of the bearing with all the little bearing balls in there too. But good thing is I didn't damage the bearing at all. What I used to pop it in was this, just like a hex screwdriver thing, and then I just tapped it lightly with a hammer until it fully sat in, and that's pretty much what did it, along with some heat to make it easier so you don't like damage anything. But yeah, there you go. I'm gonna put it together and show you how it spins. Alright, so there's the gimbal all put together, and well, it's not fully put together, but it's enough to like kind of show you the spinny. There's a spin, just like you want. The next thing I'm gonna do is just take it apart again and clean it, and then reassemble the whole tone arm. So I hope this was helpful. After assembling it, I'm gonna probably show you guys how to tighten up those top screws. That way you don't have any issues, and of course the calibration piece and all that good stuff. All right, there it is, y'all. It can be done. All those naysayers, you know, you should have believed your friends when they told you Santa Claus didn't exist and you had to find out the hard way. Come on now.